First thing, all the Nash recipes are all based on a 4-egg mix.
Okay. What's the next step then, Lee?
Right, we've got the eggs in. To the eggs, any liquid flavours, you always put the liquid flavours in first. We've now got the monster squid, 15ml. Where's my spoon? Yeah, instead of doing the 5ml, the 3ml, the 3ml, because it's actually a mixture of the old Monster Pursuit and the Scopex squid. And then he's put the banana oil in it.
Okay, and that's what gives it that sweet smell.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody thinks, oh, monster squid, it's going to be a smelly, ranky bait, but no, it's got a really nice edge to it.
So then you're beating it up?
Yeah, give them a good nice whisk. Got them finished. Then we'll go for the black, make it like the limited edition specials.
Okay, so it's just a black bait dye going on the straight base mix.
Yeah, just black bait dye in there, and we add that to this one. Just watch out, take a bit of steady because it does blow about a little bit.
You can see that changing colour already.
That's it. And then there's a couple of powdered additives that go in to this one, but a little tip, rather than taking your powdered additives and putting them into your egg, because you're only using small amounts, when you put them into the egg, they'll stay in little lumps and not really get mixed through. You'll be rolling your bait and there'll be a lump of Robin Red or something in there. So a little tip, take your base mix that you're going to be using.
That's your standard Monster Squid base.
Yeah, this is the Monster Squid base mix. It's a blend of, the original one used to be just in the Monster Pursuit base mix, and now we do it in a blend of the Monster Pursuit and the S mix to make it a little bit more all season. But what we do, we just cover the eggs in there like that. So you've just covered the top of the egg to take the wetness away with the base mix. Right, then we've got our Robin Red.
Okay, and how much of that are you using, Lee?
28 grams.
Lovely red colour that, isn't it?
Yeah, that brings out, and it gives it that little, it's got a bit of everything, this bait. You've got the fishiness and the fruitiness, and then you've got a little spicy of the Robin Red, and then the squid extract.
Okay, and how much of that are you using?
This one, it's one of the only additives that I've noticed you've got to be a little bit careful of. You can, a lot of them sometimes more. This is definitely a less is more.
Okay. So how much are we putting in then?
My personal favourite is half a tub, which is 6 grams. But we haven't put it, when you read the recipe card, it just says Robin Red, because a lot of people won't want to put this in because it is an expensive, I don't know what the actual price is, but you're looking at like towards 20 quid.
Okay, so that's an optional extra.
Yeah, that's an optional extra, because you have got the squid powder in the base mix. Because you've put that layer of base mix on the top, the actual powders you've got in, they mix through with that first layer of powder rather than staying in clumps.
Okay, so you haven't got any of those lumps.
So you've got none of them lumps. If you can see now in that bait, you can see the redness all the way through the bait rather than just in one lump. And then whisk.
Yeah, I can see that's going really black now, Lee.
Yeah, it's gone really black and it's got that red tint in it. Well, that red tint, I have noticed, some companies, they're making the baits really black and everything. But if you actually get out there and have a look in the lake, when these boilies have gone in the water, they go a little bit like bluey grey with little white specks in. If you get any water snails, mussels or anything like, when you get them out, they have got that little shelly white over them. So we've got it, I think.
So the appearance is spot on.
It's spot on. Gary's got it absolutely spot on. You put a big bed of their 10 millers out, and it does look like a bed of snails or whatever that's out on the bottom. So yeah, you've got all round. It's top quality bait. Really is.
Okay, Lee, and I see you just put some more base mix in there. How are you measuring it out? You're just putting it in until it thickens up?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously, over the years, you get used to how much handfuls in. One thing I would say is never go by what the recipes say. If it says 4 eggs to 800 grams, don't get your 4 eggs and put your 800 grams in.
Would you just add it gradually?
I always add it gradually, because you never know, somebody might have eggs that are twice the size of somebody else's and everything. So always add it a little bit at a time. So then just another handful. And what
It's really stiffening up now.
That's it. What you're looking for is a nice paste that starts to come off. Starting to come away from the walls of the bowl.
And we can really see all the little bits in there now, Lee.
You've got all the little additives and everything, and they're all the little bits that's going to give your black bait them little flecks of colour and everything. So we've got that in there. This is where got to the stage now. Dispense with a fork and get the old hands in there. So being a chef, what you're looking for is that what I call scone mix. Okay. It's like a soft dough, a bit like Play-Doh, plasticine. It's soft, it's pliable and everything, but it doesn't leave any residue on your hands. I mean, you don't want it so you can't move it, otherwise you'll just never get it out of the gun.
Okay, so it's too wet if it's sticking to your hands.
Yeah, what I'll do, just give it a nice. And what I tend to do, because the outside will always have a little bit of residue of the powder and everything on, so just break it open, stick it to your hand, take it off, and as you can see, it slightly pulls my skin away, but it's leaving nothing on. So that is.
So that looks about perfect to me.
About perfect, that one. There we go. And then again, you know, you've got to that stage where you can just leave it for a couple of seconds and it's just finishing off. The little bit of powder that's left in the bowl, don't throw that away, because what we'll do with that, when we roll the baits, put the baits in there, keep jiggling them about, and it'll stop them all sticking together and going into the pan in one big lump.
Nice little tip, that.
Right, now we're going to get on to the rolling the sausages. There's a few ways to do it. You can make it as cheap or as expensive as you want. You can go back to rolling them by hand like we used to, or you've got the smaller tables and the smaller rolling bits for making sausages, and then you get to the guns. So I think if you're going to go into it and you're going to make it, spend the money, buy the metal gun, and it'll last.
Do it properly.
Yeah, definitely. Rather than paying the money and then upgrading. I've had mine probably about 25 years.
So if you're just trying it out, is it worth trying to roll a few by hand to begin with?
I would just stick to rolling a few by hand, or even if you've not got the time to do it or anything, but you don't want to go into the expense of this, you can get it to this stage, squeeze it into a square, put it in a resealable plastic bag, drop it in your boiling pan, boil it for 25 to 30 minutes, take it out, let it cool down. You've cooked the block, get a knife, cut it into small cubes. You've got something different, and you haven't had to mess about rolling it all by hand.
Good little tip there, Lee.
So there we go. So we've got the gun. Sort the sausage out. Squeeze down into there. I've got a 16mm rolling table and a 14mm gun, and that 2mm smaller is how we make barrels.
Okay, so you're making us some barrels today then, Lee.
And it is that simple. Whatever size, it doesn't matter what size you're using. So it can be a 20mm with an 18 or a 20mm with a 16 and make long barrels. And then just ease them out. And another tip, they can swell. So if you've got the bait gun down like that and you're squeezing, as they come out, they'll get wider. So if you're making round baits, you'll get too much boilie dough in each of the little, and you'll end up with like egg-shaped boilies.
And those are no good for a throwing stick.
No, that's right, they'll fly off. So what you do, squeeze it out, but hold it up, let it come out naturally, and just ease down like that.
So how many boilie strings are you going to put on the one rolling table?
If it's your first go, what I would do is just do the one. So if I stop that there, what I'm going to do is just move them two out of the way, because those were what was in the end of me gun from the last load. So obviously that's got a little bit dry. So all I'll do, just put the one in. then because you're not rolling boilies, it is really as simple as just push down a couple of rolls and there you're done.
Perfect barrels.
And there's your barrels. Then we'll take our bowl that's got the little bit of powder in, throw them in, and as I say, till you get used to what you're doing, just do one, maybe try two. But obviously, because we're making barrels as well, you're not rolling them for so long, so you can get away with more.
So it is literally just a couple of shuffles of the table.
And that's it. Yeah, because you're not trying to make them round, because the boilies will move along the table. So obviously if you was rolling round ones and you're giving it half a dozen, they'll creep along and creep into each other. Whereas like this, because you're only literally 2 strokes and your boilies are ready, you can actually get away once you get used to it. We'll go for...
Are you going to go for 4, Lee? Feeling brave?
We'll go for 4 and see if we can sort it out. And then it is just literally cut through, job done, all your bait.
Perfect barrels.
So finish off your baits. We'll just do these few. Then obviously get your pan going.
So Lee, do we want to be dropping them into boiling water?
Yeah, you want the water to be boiling. Otherwise, if it's not boiling, the eggs won't set straight away. And then when you move them about, they'll go all stodgy and sticky on the outside.
So you want them hard on the outside and still soft on the inside?
That's it. Yeah, if you drop them in boiling water and boil them really nice and quickly, you get that. They'll still be rock hard. But as well, if you I tend to air dry half of my baits. And what happens is, I air dry half and use half freezer baits. Then when you're firing them out, obviously a carp is used to eating snails, crayfish. So you get a crayfish, sounds a bit weird, but you get a crayfish or snail and squash it, it's rock hard shell on the outside, squidgy centres. So if you air dry your baits and boil them like this, you end up with a nice hard crisp outer, but still soft on the middle. So again, it's just like you're trying to mimic their natural food, get it into their natural larders.
And carp do like a bit of crunch, don't they?
Right. That's right. So
do you add the eggshells at all?
I do if I'm making paste. The one problem with eggshell is if I leave the eggshell in to make boilies, I'll use one of them little hand blenders and blend them down so it goes into a real fine shell. Because if you leave the shell in, you will have trouble rolling them, because the shell, although it doesn't seem it will dig into the plastic and make all sorts of mess. But what I tend to do is I'll make my bait and I'll save the eggshells. And say I've made 12 egg mix, I keep them 12 eggshells and then I'll make a 4 egg mix but add all 16 eggshells, and then I'll keep that as paste. So before I cast out with my boilies, I'll wrap a bit of this real crunchy, shelly paste around the outside. One, the fish like the crunch and everything. It's got protein and everything in from the eggshell, and it does help it dissolve and drop off, because obviously it's letting the water into your bait. So you do all that, it drops off round, and you've just got a squidgy, shelly, crunchy mess underneath your hook bait.
Okay, so pure attraction.
Pure attraction, definitely.
Okay, so we're boiling now.
Right, what we're going to do, yeah, we can get all that mix in there. First thing to do, put them in, and then I leave them for 30 seconds. If you start turning that now, the fork's going to dig into them, because they're at their softest. Even though they're a little bit hard as the paste, once they hit that water, they go a little bit soft on the outside.
So we want that little skin on the outside first.
And you can feel, once they've been in that, when you stick the fork in and moving round gently, you can feel how they're starting to go a little bit hard on the outside.
Okay, so how long are we going to give them? Should we have a soft bait today, Lee?
Yeah, we can do. If you want a soft bait, as soon as that first one starts to pop up, whip them out. I normally let them pop up. As soon as you get 3/4 of the surface with them popped up, give them 30 seconds and they're nice and ready. So as I say, we do all the matching products and everything, and sizes. I'll put 10 mils, 20 mils, chop baits. The reason I use chop baits for hook baits is I like to do that T system, which makes a bait spin.
Right. Just like the crayfish you were just talking
Yeah, that's right. As I say, nothing, although we all use boilies and everything, nothing out there is round. So
they look like they've swollen up a bit, Lee.
yeah, they're swollen up. As soon as they're cool, I like to just drain them off. My bait's at home 48 hours. Drain them off, leave them for 48 hours, and away we go. But that's got the water. If you could just pass me that long tray. Thank you very much. We'll pop that on there. And as you can see already now, they're not jet black. They've got, when you look really closely, they've got little red flecks, little white flecks, little veins on them. Couple that with the solubles, the chain reaction and everything, you've got all that flavour, maximum attraction. They don't know, but they don't know where it is. And then the only thing that they can eat is your hook baits.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Lee. That's fantastic.
You're welcome.